but cannot take a single tender scene between a same-sex couple. Come on, is that true? God, people.
That is so funny, man. What is wrong with people? Why would you care?
Love is love,
Why?
man.
How could you care about that so much?
Yep.
That you'd be like, this show that I've been with for 5 years, I'm done.
I'm done.
This is too much.
Well, they have you know what? They have a large viewership. They can spare a few of those people.
It sort of reminds me of South Park when they would just skewer any and everything possible. And then when they skewered Scientology, the guy who played Chef quit because he was a Scientologist.
Yeah, I remember that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
my
like,
God.
you can do anal probes and,
Yeah.
even Christianity, Mormonism, that's
Right.
fine.
Right.
Fuck them. But then when it comes to my thing,
My
can't take
thing.
it.
Don't talk about my thing.
Jordan Stock says, loved it, but I'm starting a new hashtag DOSOD, Department of Suspension of Disbelief.
Yep.
There's no possible way you'd see the Washington Monument and then be driving through a rural area, especially from the South.
Thank you, Jordan Stock. That's what I thought too. And I looked on Google Maps. Thank you. Gosh, Gracie Lou.
I was thinking the same thing when at a certain point someone says, they see the Washington Monument and they're like, we're halfway there.
Yeah.
And if it was 100 miles, I'm like, so that's 50 miles away?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no possible way it's going to look that good.
But they just think most people are too stupid to realize that. Right. Or they just don't care.
Gracie.
Yeah, they're like, who cares? Let's just do
it.
If we still keep people after the gay kiss, they're going to go ahead with that.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, I don't mind that, but that's not geographically accurate. Fuck this show. As soon as they get out of Georgia, because they're actually still in Georgia, I'm sure they're still filming in Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
So there's going to be a ton of stuff that people who are familiar with that area hate from now on.
That's funny. Gracie Lee writes, anyone worried that the Alexandrians are pumping in crowd noise like the Atlanta Falcons? Or I have to add the Seattle Seahawks. Yes, Gracie, I am worried about that. I'm with you, girlfriend.
Well, football teams pump in crowd noise?
Yeah.
Like at the event or on TV?
At the event that you can hear it on TV too. And they're like, well, listen to this crowd. Yes.
Oh
it's
God.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Heather Lewis Sanders says, kudos to Andrew Lincoln's performance in this episode when his face relaxes after hearing the laughter of children. #chills. I totally agree.
The fake laughter of children. Dallas Harden writes, amazing.
Shelley Fisk, really, really good.
Joshua Burke writes, something ain't right.
And Tom Bartley says, absolutely loved it. Definitely love the comic book episodes. All right, that's good. We'll take a little break. There's more back, and it's time to talk about our sponsor. It's Fracture, who we love. And with Fracture, you can get your photos printed on glass in vivid color. Of course, you get a 15% discount if you go to fractureme.com and use promo code GAK at checkout. It's GAK. It's a beautiful thing. It's like an art project. You upload your photo, and then Karen, why don't you describe what you get back?
You get back the prettiest prints, a picture you've taken that's fused on glass, and you can hang it up on your wall, and it's fantastic. It's all in one. So it's the picture, it's the frame, and it's the mounting system. It's all together.
Super easy.
I have 3 of them in my house, and I think they're so pretty. And by the way, I have 2 words for you: Mother's Day. Just saying.
Yeah, that's right. This is another great thing about Fracture is if you can't. I mean, these days we kind of it's so easy to go on Amazon or just get whatever you want. So it's hard to think of what gifts to give. But if you take a picture of a nice picture, you have a picture of your kid to send to grandma or something like that. They're really impressed with this stuff.
Yes. And it's unique. It's one of a kind. Nobody else will have it. So yeah, Mother's Day or Father's Day. Just saying.
And I think most people have pictures that they would be proud to display. I bet you there's some people out there that don't have any pictures they'd be proud to display. They're really bad photographers, or they just don't take very many pictures. Or
me taking the picture in Kauai and it's basically my thumb. Yes, that one is one.
Well, I'm saying people who don't have any at all. So, and if you don't, by the way, but you've been like thinking, I want to put some stuff up, but I just can't find anything. They also have an art store. So you can go there and they have like old classic art prints or modern ones too, or just beautiful photos that people have taken. They tend to doctor them up so they look really cool on glass. They make these in Gainesville, Florida, and they check each image for quality. And each purchase comes with a happiness guarantee and a lifetime warranty. And you can go to fractureme.com to learn more. I've seen a whole bunch of these now that I've gotten for myself, that you've gotten, Karen, and that our listeners have gotten, and everybody's been happy with them. So once again, go to fractureme.com, use promo code GAC, 15% off. Thank you to Fracture for your support. We totally appreciate it.
Obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is a Walking Dead Cast news update.
Okay, have you heard about the new Ghostbusters?
I have heard about the new Ghostbusters. Yeah. In fact, the director was on The Talking Dead on Sunday
You saw
night.
it, yeah. I know you have, Brian, because you guys were talking about it the other day. So it's all
I have, yeah.
girls. What do you?
It's an all-female cast, and there's the world is a flutter.
It's crazy.
I did not know that.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Yeah, it's Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones, all these female comedians who are going to be the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Super cool. But the point of me talking about this is that on Talking Dead, Paul Feig said that he's inspired by Walking Dead and he wants to make it scary. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. He did
And
say that.
I'm excited to see it. I kind of got what Brian Quinn was saying about it not being the same, but
Right.
we already saw 2 of those movies, so I'm curious to see.
I agreed with Quinn too, and I'm more interested in seeing the special effects than caring about who the cast is.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I actually like that he's saying they want to make it scarier, because that'll be interesting. You know, that could be cool. Okay, next, Marquise Moore, who played Andrew. Did you hear this? He was one of the prisoners on The Walking Dead. He tried to kill himself.
What?
Took a bunch of Xanax.
Oh.
He survived. He's recuperating now. He was like under surveillance for a few days. So
Speedy
hopefully-
recovery.
So wait, what was his name? What's his name?
His name's Marquise Moore, and he was in the prison. When they first got there were some prisoners there. One was like this small black guy who Rick left outside, and then he went around and opened all the doors and let the zombies in that killed T-Dog and Carol. So that dude.
Speedy recovery.
He left some kind of a message, but I don't think it was public, so we don't know.
Why don't they ever tell you? It's so unfair.
Yeah. Well, he's still around though. He made it, so we can ask him. I'll try to get
Like
him on the show.
if I ever off myself, I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put a little postscript that I want it released to the public, because I know people are always so curious. Like, oh, they always leave a note. Wonder what they wrote. So this way, people will be seated.
I would say please just don't do that at all.
Yes.
Apparently, okay, here we go. A lot of people on Twitter got upset about there being a gay couple. Here's 2 examples of tweets. One says, "Gay guys on Walking Dead just made the show value go down." The other one says, "I've been watching The Walking Dead for years with my kids. Then with no warning, you guys throw gays in there. I'm disappointed." So I like my little 6-year-old to watch beheadings, but...
Yes. Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
what a-
That's okay.
What a fucking idiot! Like,
Yeah,
what a fucking idiot to say something like that. It's like, why is The Walking Dead responsible for shielding your kids from the realities of life?
Right.
You know, like what a weird thing.
And it's apparently okay that Rosita and Abraham were
Like,
going at it
basically,
in the
yeah.
library, and Eugene was watching them. Okay, that's
Yeah, that
okay.
was weird.
That's apparently perfectly fine.
That was a little
Yeah.
odd.
That was a minor complaint when you first met Rosita and she was in the pigtails and the short shorts and the tied up shirt.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the least practical outfit you could possibly wear
Yeah.
when in a post-apocalyptic world. And while she looks hot, it's so silly.
But it was a
It's
nod to the
so-
comic.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
the cover
I mean,
of one of the comic
I'm
issues.
not saying, I mean, maybe they shouldn't have done that, but That's
Right.
why they did it, yeah,
Right.
because she looked just like she
Okay.
did.
Yeah,
But then they
that
quickly
makes
changed
sense
her
then.
outfit, though,
Right, and now
after that,
she's been in basically
In normal outfits
Yeah.
since then, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next, Ross Marquand. Marquand, how do you say that?
You know, I would say Marquand, but I'm probably wrong.
I'm going to interview him tomorrow, so I'll ask him.
Yeah.
Anyways, he plays Aaron, and they on the Daily Beast, they asked him, Aaron's the first gay man featured on the show, and we watched him and Eric together for the first time on Sunday, an intimate reunion scene. What did it mean to you to take on that scene? He says, it's been a great deal of responsibility to do it justice with respect not only to our gay fan base, but to the viewers in general. My boyfriend, who's played by Jordan Woods Robinson, and I met as often as we could before we shot the scene and tried our best to get to know each other on a personal level. We practiced many different positions. No, I'm just kidding. He says it was one of the most beautiful scenes that I've had the pleasure of shooting because it dialed into what I think the theme of the show is. This is not a show about zombies. I think it's a show about relationships and the real human connection that we have to one another. When you lose someone or feel that you've lost someone, it doesn't matter what the situation is. You mourn them and you miss them and you want them back, and you'll do anything in your power to protect the ones you love. I hope that's the focus of our characters, that it's not hung up so much on our sexual orientation.
And you know, I have to say about that scene that Eric was in mortal danger. He broke his foot and he sent off a flare, and luckily he was rescued. Of course, they didn't show him being rescued, but he was rescued by the rest of the gang. So when Aaron comes and sees him, he's thinking, "Oh my God, my partner maybe boyfriend, maybe husband, who knows, is maybe in mortal peril."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, thank God," and gives him a bit. I would do the same thing if David, my husband, if he was in mortal peril and I thought maybe his life was in danger, I'd be like, "You're okay, great. It's only a broken foot. Come here, let me give you a smooch." I mean, it made complete sense for the scene.
Yeah.
It wasn't gratuitous. It was perfect for the story. So get over it,
great.
people.
And I loved how when as soon as he saw that flare go off, he's like, "Oh,
Game
forget
over.
my mission. Yeah, I gotta go."
It's all about him. It's about love, man.
That's cool. All right. Finally, executive producer Gail Ann Hurd said she wants Walking Dead to last longer than The Simpsons.
Oh my God.
I hope so. They told us that, it wasn't a verbal contract or anything, but at AMC they said as long as The Walking Dead is on, you guys will be on.
Wow.
Wow.
So for 25 years, that would be, yeah. Can you
That's
imagine me at
crazy.
75?
Woo! Yeah, you're just going to be coming into your own there, Brian.
So do you feel a kinship with the show? I mean, you feel kind of connected to the show then, right?
To Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, because I've met everyone, at your cons and spoken to them. And I told Walt on, I think I told Walt on Tell Him Steve Dave, but Melissa McBride, I had never met her, and we were at Walker Stalker in Atlanta, and someone said, "Hey, do you want to meet Melissa?" And I said, I didn't want to bother her. She was eating, and I guess she heard, and she was like, "No." And I went over and I said, "Hey, I'm Brian I'm on Comic Book Men," and she gave me a hug that was so non-sexual, but like if my mother had hugged me as a child like this, I'd be a totally different person, not even considering like, will people want to read my suicide note or not?
Aww.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
just so loving and so nice, and I was like, wow, that person has insane positive energy.
I want that hug.
I know.
Why can't I be hugged by Melissa McBride?
I did a panel with the actors from Day of the Dead, and I don't remember her name now, but the one that played the female lead, she gave me a hug like that after the panel, and it really disarmed me. I felt almost a little guarded at first, like I wasn't going to let it in, but she wouldn't have any of that. And it wasn't sexual at all, but I felt her whole body.
happening.
Yeah.
She loved you.
Thank you.
It was nice.
Yeah, that's a nice
Okay,
feeling.
everybody who's listening to this podcast,
Hug each other
just
right
hug
now.
each other.
Find the
Just go
person.
somebody and you
Even
hug
if
them.
you don't know somebody around you.
Yeah, Brian, I'd hug you right now if I could. Good hug, too.
By the way, our AV guy, Stefan, he's really excited about getting you guys together, I think in Dallas, and instead of doing our normal panel, doing more of a roadshow style thing like you do on the show. So we're going to tell people to bring their items to be appraised by you guys.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and do it on the
That's
stage.
a cool idea.
Yeah, it should be
nice.
fun. Yeah.
Items.
You can make fun of everybody.
Oh, I'll definitely, because I'll let Bing price the item, and then no matter what he says, just ridicule him.
Cool. Looking forward to it. All right. That's it for the news. Let's move on to listener moans, groans, and grunts.
Okay, the first one comes from Vince Sorgi, who writes, prediction, the children's voices from within the community are recording. No one is there. I enjoyed the podcast and look forward to the one on this episode. Ha!
No.
We'll see.
True. Jeffrey Gazda from Portland, Oregon says, I love this episode. The last two since the break were too Tolstoy for me. But thankfully now we're back to the fun. I'm seeing lots of people up in arms about the gay tone of tonight's episode. While I'm not shocked by this, I'm also kind of amused by it. Someone commented online, they lost me as a viewer when they introduced the homosexual agenda. Really? Rick biting a chunk of a guy's neck wasn't enough to turn you away? Or the bloated zombie guts on Herschel's farm next to the wall? Eating humans, eating dog, et cetera, et cetera. Wow, here's a homosexual agenda for you. Gay guy saves the group, bringing them to Alexandria. Hell, I'd kiss him too. And I might even join the Alexandria Friday Night Dance Troupe. Sounds super fun.
See? Alexandria Friday Night Dance Troupe, man. That's going to be a good time.
What if you'd come on, Brian, and we were like, I can't believe they had a gay kiss on there.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can continue doing this
scandalized.
podcast.
Oh, that would be so interesting. I'd be
that be
like,
cool?
wow, really? Oh, I would want to hear every single thought you guys had after that.
Wait, okay, if anybody listening feels that way, let us know and we'll have you on and talk about it.
We simply agree with Brian. Okay, this next one comes from Libby in Northern Virginia, who writes, all I could think of as I watched The Distance was that Rick is an awful lot like an old dog who was beaten by his owner and kicked by little children and maybe lost his tail in an unfortunate incident with a pickup truck. When he's finally picked up by a rescue organization, he's so distrustful he can't even allow himself to take the bacon from a friendly hand in fear it would be yanked away in the last second. I mean, on the one hand, with everything he's gone through, I can't blame him. But on the other hand, it's bacon. Libby in North Virginia, where I can see the gang's view of DC out my living room window. Thanks, Libby.
I love that.
I do
That's
too.
a very good description.
It's bacon.
From Keith Amato. Great interview with Soniqua Martin Green. Once again, you nailed it. Awesome, dude. Thank you. Walking Dead fans like myself enjoy nothing better than to get an inside perspective or behind-the-scenes look at the actors portraying the roles that we've come to love after 5+ years. Personally, I've been through a lot of very difficult times during these last 5 years. Divorced 5 years, my mom's passing 3 years ago, my ex-wife getting terminally sick a year ago and passing on in September, assuming the sole responsibility of raising and caring for my teenage son since his mom got sick last year. But it's been very cathartic, not just watching the show I adore, but listening to your podcast and communicating with you and other listeners via emails and phone calls. So thanks very much for that. You and your show have been a very bright light during a very dark time in my life. I would love to meet you and Karen, but traveling to California or Atlanta is just not doable at this time. Hopefully you'll come to the New York area, specifically Long Island one day, and we can meet and chat. In any case, you both have a loyal and ardent listener, a fan and a friend on Long Island.
Aw, Keith, you have a fan and a friend over here in California.
Keith, I don't know if you can get to Walker Stalker Con, but anyways, I'll be back there in New York next year, so maybe we can
Come on
meet
out.
up. And you can tell me what ardent means. And I hope you
Hot and fiery. It means hot and fiery.
okay. Thanks. I still want to meet up.
Elaine writes, I heard you guys discussing the storm scene last week's episode and how you didn't think it was all that believable. Living in the Midwest my entire life, I found that scene to be pretty accurate for a tornado. For whatever reason, those storms will destroy everything in its path, yet leave one or two structures standing and seemingly untouched. I thought the scene was great, and I really love the walker high up in the tree. Yay, Elaine, you saw that. I thought it was just me. I'm so glad that you saw that tiny, tiny little fragment of a second when there was a walker up in a tree. It was pretty cool.
We got a lot of emails telling us that was a tornado and it was totally believable. So I'm not going to read them all. But thanks, guys. Rainey Christopher says, Jason, I was so jazzed to hear you talking about The Girl with All the Gifts. This is a zombie book that we brought up last time. I also think both that it's a great zombie novel and that it's very literary. It's a bit reminiscent to me of Kazuo Ishiguro's Never Let Me Go, and the way the first-person narrator tells in a matter-of-fact way about a situation which slowly emerges as completely bizarre. Yes, that's what I loved about it. Unlike you, though, I really like the ending. I hope you do succeed in interviewing the author. Another literary zombie novel I recently read/listened to on Audible is The Reapers Are the Angels, which pretty much reads as if it were written by Cormac McCarthy, although it was written by an author, Alden Bell, best known for young novels, which this is definitely not, despite having a teenage girl protagonist. P.S. I attended my first Walker Stalker Con in San Francisco, and my favorite moment was when you said, "Hi, Mom," to someone who I guess actually was your mother. I was struck by the multi-generational nature of the crowd. So my mom got up and to ask a question.
That was their favorite moment? Wow.
I know. It doesn't sound like a very good con.
But it was so fun.
She was naked.
Yeah, to be that taken, that's strange.
I didn't realize your mom was there, did I?
You weren't there, so...
Oh, this was okay. So
Yeah.
it wasn't our meetup.
No.
I was there at
So-
the Walker Stalker Con, but I wasn't there at that moment.
So my mom got up to... I'm going to go ahead and tell this story. I know my mom listens, but sorry, Mom. I'm going to tell it. So she got up to ask a question to Andrew J. West, who played Gareth.
Yeah.
And she said something like, "So you just got married. How does your wife handle your cannibalistic ways?" And he made a joke about how she does all the cooking. And then later she told me he didn't get my joke. And I said, "Oh, I didn't either." And she goes, "I was trying to ask him if he eats out his wife." And I'm like, I'm so glad no one in the audience got that right after I said, "Hi, Mom."
Hi, Mom. Wow. God, I love your mom.
Yeah, I guess that's
great.
That's pretty good. Cool, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It's great.
Hi, Mom.
Steve the Creeper writes, Karen, welcome back to the podcast. Just wasn't the same without you. Aw, thanks. In response to your desire to have dogs in the zombie apocalypse, that's a bad idea. The reason is that unless your dog is highly trained not to dog bark,
I don't know. To not bark?
To not bark when they're happy, sad, excited, scared at everything, and even nothing, Now, each and every time your dog barks, they are just ringing the dinner bell for the undead
Dinners. Can you teach a dog not to bark ever?
You probably can.
Probably
Sure.
could, yeah.
Sure. And I think there's a dog called a Basenji that doesn't have a bark.
The way you and Jenny were
Has
talking
like a
last
yodel.
week, the dog wouldn't last long. You just
We
eat
eat
it.
it. Which is weird because I'm a vegetarian.
Karen, I don't mean anything by this. I don't want to take it away from you.
Yeah.
But isn't it weird when somebody's like, the show isn't the same without you? Like, we all like normally would take that as a compliment, but really it's just a statement of fact, right? When you think about it.
The show probably wasn't. It was probably much, much better without me.
Well, wait. Where's that?
He said,
letter?
It says, Karen, welcome back. The show wasn't the same without you. Yeah, it was probably much, much
But
better.
when preceded by "welcome back," that probably is positive. If he had said, "I'm sad you're back,"
Said you're back. The show wasn't the same without you. It was so much better. Yeah.
or
Hey, I always assume that. But thanks, Steve.
I got more other emails saying, "Well, I don't know. I'll have to go back and read now and
They're
see if
probably
they were
like,
nice."
Melissa. Yeah, she's
Okay, we
the bomb.
have 1, 2, 3, 4 calls. This first one is Glenn from Alabama.
Hey, Jason and Karen, it's Lynn from Alabama again. And wanted to leave my zombie sound. Felt like you guys won. Forgot to drop it off last week, so here it goes. All right, thanks, guys.
That's
Have a
good.
good one. Bye.
That is a
it.
good one.
Are we?
These are your listeners.
Yes, they are.
They call up and make zombie
What
noises.
what noises do your listeners make, Brian?
I don't know. We did have an answering machine for a while, and then we forgot about it. And I think we lost control of the number or something.
That's funny.
I've trained them to do that. I have to admit.
We love it when people make zombie sounds. In fact,
Crazy
Brian,
dream of mine.
yeah, keep it in mind because you're a guest on the show.
Brian, I bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know it was going to be this goofy, did you?
No, you know what? I'm not used to dealing with fanatics about any one thing. You know, like if I had the passion for anything, like you have passion for Walking Dead, man, I'd be so much further ahead in life. You know what I mean? But,
aren't you passionate about
you
comics?
guys? Yeah, you're not like you're not annoyingly dorky. You know, I guess that's as good a compliment as the show's the same without you.
Thanks, brother. You're not annoyingly dorky either, comic book guy.
I'll take it. Okay, let's see. Next is Eddie from Woodland Oaks.
Jason and Taryn, this is Eddie from Woodland Hills, California. I wanted to say today's episode was awesome. I'd give it a 4.8. There was a lot of great stuff in it. I really liked the applesauce scene with older Topher Grace. It was really funny. At first I was like, oh my God, Rick, you better taste that applesauce before you give it to your daughter. And then he made the other guy taste it, which was so smart. It was great. There's a lot of really cool subtle stuff in this episode, like Daryl being on the top of the car, and like the flare as the lighting in that one scene. I thought that was really cool. And I was so glad they were gay, you know? That was a really nice little touch. It was really cool.
Agreed.
I was glad.
It was really funny with Abraham and like, oh my God, it's going to work. No, it's not. But it was really sweet. Yeah, I wanted to say that I think I speak for all the listeners when I hope that you guys too, when you both secretly elope and move to Georgia. Keep up the podcast and don't get bit.
I'm not sure he speaks for all the listeners.
I don't think he speaks for all the listeners. Thanks, Eddie.
That's awfully arrogant.
Our spouses might take umbrage.
Yeah, they listen, and they probably wouldn't agree.
They take umbrage.
Okay, let's see. Here's Paik Allen from Tyler, Texas.
Hi, this is Paik Allen from Tyler, Texas. And holy crap, where do I even start with this one? To be completely honest, this is probably one of my new favorite episodes. I was just thoroughly happy with the way that this one went. And as a comic book reader, of course, I was super excited to see Aaron and Eric finally show up in full, and you kind of get to see them and their relationship and everything. And man, it's awesome to get Alexandria finally spoken about, and they're on their way. I mean, they're basically there. I'm excited because no spoilers for those who don't read the comics, things only get better from here, and better as in good and bad. So you'll see. Anyway, I was just super excited the whole episode.
He was excited.
Also, it was happy at the end. And, you know, you don't get a happy ending with The Walking Dead very often. The RV, Glenn knowing what to do with the RV. Oh, because of Dale. That's special
sweet
moment. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go because I'm running out of time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Paik. I always called him Pocky before.
Paik.
Okay, we got one more. It is
Anonymous from Pensacola.
Hey, guys. I was listening to your episode about them, and you were talking about the scene. Somebody else probably already wrote in about this, but you were talking about the scene outside the barn with the walkers. And that would be a tornado that would have come through, not a hurricane. No big deal there. But, yeah, that definitely does happen in real life. That happened to me personally. I was younger in Atlanta, staying in Atlanta with my dad at the time, and a tornado passed immediately by the apartment that we were staying in. And when we went outside, the trees that were 5 feet from the house were torn up and thrown all over the place, and there was nothing wrong with the house. Tornadoes are very narrow in their damage. If you ever watch it, it had a specific path to go down. As we were going through other neighborhoods helping people out during that time, I walked down and I saw this humongous pine tree, and literally 2 feet underneath that same pine, where that pine tree was this little bitty tree, like 3 feet tall, like nothing, and had Easter eggs hanging on it because it was Easter time. And the Easter eggs were still hanging on the tree from their little strings where they had tied them up there as decorations. And that big pine tree had been uprooted and thrown. And, you know, the roots of the trees had just come out around that one little tree that was still standing there, and all the eggs were still on it. So there's some crazy stuff that happens in little tornadoes. So, yeah, that's 100% realistic, believe it or not, because I've seen that kind of thing happen. Anyway, I love the show, guys. I love listening to y'all, and I'm going to go back to listening now. Thanks.
I love his accent.
All right. Thanks, all you guys, for your calls and emails. We're going to move on to Comic Talk with Mr. Blog and Gracie Liu. Take it away, guys.
Hey, everyone. This is Mr. Blog.
And I'm Grace.
And I am so excited to talk about episode 511, The Distance. Man, this episode was basically the comic come to life.
No doubt. This was great.
I mean, from beginning to end, it was, volume 12, right? Life Among Us. I mean, I think we're dealing with issues 68 through around 70 or somewhere around there. But that was just fantastic. So
I gave it a 4.8.
Is that Jason?
I think it might be Jason. What are you doing in here, man? How's
like
it going?
A gremlin.
This is our room. This is our segment.
You said I could join you.
I guess so. Fine. Here we carve out our little thing, and you got it.
Well, I wanted to join in because I love this episode so much, and there's so much, comic related stuff. And also, I've been kind of jealous that you guys get to talk about the comics. So I want to talk about it too. Maybe then you guys could come and guest on the other part sometime soon.
Sounds good. So you're kind of in the spoiler free zone at this point. You know,
I can say whatever
you're
I
able
want.
to just exactly, or spoiler safe zone, I should say. Excuse me.
I was kind of wondering if they would just lead us down this path of being smug comic book readers who know what's going to happen, and then have it be another terminus.
Yeah.
I really didn't think that was going to happen, though.
And I've been loving the fact that Scott Gimple seems like, when he said he was trying to make it a lot more like the comic book, holy crap, he was not kidding, man.
Yeah, I mean, some of the lines were right out of the comic.
Oh, for sure. I mean, so much of it was just straight out of it. I mean, he's keeping his word that he's going to make it that much more. So do you want to go ahead and start digging into the individual little details?
Sure. I think the first big one was just the fact that Rick is mistrusting Aaron, just like he was in the comic, and he punched him, knocked him right out. So in the TV show, it was a right hook as opposed to a left hook.
Maybe he's right. Well, no, what am I saying? Right. Got it. Never mind.
Welcome back to the world of the comics. You got to get your head back in that place.
And then we get Michonne delivering what was Abraham's lines, which, pretty much straight out of the comic. Just so we're clear, that wasn't a let's attack that man look. It was a he seems like an okay guy to me look, which was pretty funny.
What do you think about them giving Abraham's lines to Michonne?
It doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes more sense. I mean, at this point in the show versus the comic, Michonne and Rick are so much closer. Abraham and Rick have not gone through their bonding moment that they went through in the comic. In the comic, they had the whole Marauders thing, right?
Yeah, but Daryl kind of got some of that scene, yeah.
Yeah, so this makes more sense to have. Actually, it's a pity Daryl couldn't have delivered that line, but that's way more Michonne's style, I think.
Well, and it went along, and that kind of went along with the comic where she was acting kind of more as the voice of reason.
Yeah.
To give her those lines.
And that's the next thing, of course, is that she was being the voice of reason, exactly like the comic, to argue with Rick to say, no, we have to try this. We have to do this. Now, this was a difference in the comic that Rick then says, he remembers the governor, and he goes into a lot more about the governor with Michonne in the book versus the show. Well, I've been loving hearing all of the the viewers who just watch the TV show and don't read the comics, how much they distrust Aaron and all of this. That from their perspective, it's only about it's about the governor and about Terminus and all of that. So it's like a cumulative effect.
Even Karen, I mean, when they went into Terminus and they were playing nice music, she was like, oh, thank God they found this place. Yeah. But now she's still doesn't trust Aaron.
Awesome.
She's a little more wary.
What were you saying, Grace?
Well, I was going to say, on the flip side of what Jason was saying, I almost thought it was strange that Rick in the TV show was so much more mistrustful, because although everybody kind of went through more things, or more people did. I mean, in the comic, when he was a little bit more trusting, or seemed to be, I mean, the governor had done so much more to him. I mean, he got his arm chopped off, and the governor was more of a direct reason why he lost his wife, and then he also lost his daughter.
He raped Michonne.
Yeah,
I mean, there were so many extra things he did. Yeah.
So it could go both ways, but it is interesting, to see the difference. And I did one thing with Michonne acting as the voice of reason. I liked how she brought up Judith, and it was nice that she was able to do that since Judith is still living.
Yeah.
But because that, you get pull those daddy strings, and you can make him see.
I'm actually, I was a little maybe disappointed that they didn't have the guts to kill Judith like they did in the comic, but I really feel like surprisingly she's adding a lot. That sounds kind of cruel to say about a cute little baby, but every time they look over at her, it's like, oh, that's something to really, the motivation to stay alive, or it just adds to Rick's. It makes more sense why he would be. That's one thing that adds to him being more paranoid and protective because he's got this little baby to take care of.
Sure. Another little quick one is that we had Aaron calling the walkers roamers in the TV show.
Cool. I really liked hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't recall
Which made
hearing
me
that
wonder
before.
It made me wonder if we're going to hear him say lurkers too at some
I
point.
hope so. I really do. It's I don't know. It's just kind of nice. Like, yeah, roamers and lurkers, man. That's the touchstone of The Walking Dead.
Exactly.
That's one of those things. Like Rick's speech last week, it was so great to hear that. Like, God, they're really paying this homage to the actual source material, and that makes me so. I'm gushing about that tonight. It's kind of funny. The other one, and then, really, this entire episode was just so full of everything, because the next one was them plowing through that herd with the car. Now, it didn't come from this specific moment with Aaron and all of that. You got to go all the way back to, what was it, Volume 10, What We Fear,
right?
When it was Rick, Abraham, Morgan, and Carl. Now, Abraham was in the back of their El Camino, and Rick is driving. That's what it was. And Morgan was still just like the crazy guy. They just got back out of Cynthiana. And they suddenly come upon this herd and they start plowing through this thing. And Abraham just goes, I forget the head over heels. There's another word for this, ass over elbows or something, where over the El Camino and into the thing, and Rick and Carl freaking out with Morgan, and Abraham just busts out and he's like, I got this. It was just great stuff. And it was different in this, of course. Glenn didn't seem to know where the hell the windshield wipers were in this car. And there were a lot of differences, but it was great to see this scene finally and to see them really dealing with a herd for the first time. And it was just phenomenal. I loved seeing it. I don't think it had quite the epic scale that it had in the book. In the book, it was during the day, and it was like over this hillside. It was just Julie Andrews and The Sound of Music with zombies. It was wonderful.
It was definitely a nice little nod.
It really was. So it was great that we're still getting material filled in. Again, Gimple just saying, hey, there's all this great stuff in the source material. Let's pull it in and use it. Thank goodness. Sorry, I'm pontificating. I really am. The next
I agree. I start to think, what if they just from now on, as closely as possible, followed the comic? And I still don't want them to do that, but it still feels really cool when they get really close like they are now too.
Yeah, exactly. I've been enjoying it more than I thought I would. Every time I enjoy it. Sometimes I'm like, I want to be surprised, but I like it better. I actually do like it better when
well, what about
closer.
Like the first episode of this season that wasn't really comic related? That was a pretty damn good one.
It was an amazing episode.
Yeah, I liked it. So it's nice to have some different things.
Both,
of course.
yeah.
And I also saw it as a bit of course correction. Tyrese had already been gone at this point, but at the same time, let's say just what the hell, that Sasha is the stand-in for Andrea. Well, Andrea lost a sibling plus lost a lover. Right. Now, Sasha has done the same thing. Mm-hmm. She's lost a sibling. She's lost a lover. So she's getting closer and closer to the Andrea role.
I'm pulling for her to be the new Andrea.
Well, everyone's all shipping Michonne and Rick now.
Bah.
I feel the same way.
She and Morgan are going to... That'll happen with Morgan.
I don't even need that, but... Yeah, she has other things to do.
You realize now that we get to Alexandria, it turns into a bit of a soap opera. So let's face it, that's really what's going to happen, and we all love it. So it's great.
True. Well, after the plowing through the herd, we had another little thing that was similar, but Glenn untying Aaron and giving him a gun. And he did do that in the comic at a different spot. It was before they left with Aaron. They were, when Aaron first came to their camp and introduced himself, and they tied him up. And we didn't get the funny line from Glenn, which I kind of missed. Glenn was like, "Oh, so I was in the moment. Sorry, I gave him a gun." And Rick was like, "Did you have to give him that gun?" Because it was like,
you give him the machine gun, right?
Yeah.
Well, and also they found the listening device in the car.
Sure, yeah,
that happened even beforehand. So it's
so some little similarities there. And do you want to do this next bigger one?
Well, I mean, certainly. You know how I love, and Eric and Aaron, that relationship was just kept perfectly intact. So much about their meeting up was so similar. It was great to see that. I was really happy to see Eric hiding behind the tractor, but even more happy to see the two of them reunited. It was fantastic.
They did a good job with it. I loved how
great job.
Aaron grabbed Eric's head and they kind of had their foreheads together, just like the panel in the comic.
Yep.
It was great. And of course, Eric hadn't broken his ankle in the comic, but otherwise it was pretty similar.
Well, and that is tied together with what actually happens in DC, which didn't happen, but it sort of did. So it's they merge so many little things together. So, I mean, they do see DC and they end up going into DC
in the comic
when that flare goes off, because in the comic, the flare goes off, but it's actually Heath and his partner. Do you remember his partner's name?
No.
And by partner, I mean his buddy on his runs.
I want to say Sean or something, but I think that's
Sean,
wrong.
I think it is Sean. No, I think it is Sean.
But he broke his leg.
He broke his leg the way that Eric broke his ankle.
Did you guys go back and read this? Because I totally forget most of this stuff.
I did. I flipped through it really quickly.
Yeah.
No, this is just I've read these so many goddamn times, just over and over and over. I'm not
cool.
reading them over and over as much lately, just being
lack of time.
Yeah,
but I want to. And
it's still good.
Tomorrow,
yeah.
And tomorrow, the hardcover edition, volume 11 of The Walking Dead, which means that up to the 22nd volume of this book comes out. So that's impressive.
Yeah.
So what's the next thing that happened?
Okay, well, the next big thing, or mainly the last big thing, big thing is the group arriving at the gates of Alexandria. And they did a great job of it. The gates look very similar. In the comic, you kind of get to see over the gates and into the community. And this one, it was a little bit more of a mystery, but I really liked how they did it with the sound of the children laughing and playing inside. I thought that was a wonderful way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was one of the first images that Rick sees in the comic, and he's blown away by the fact that there are kids playing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think they captured the spirit of it really well. Yeah.
It's crazy to think that most likely this show is about to just drastically change. And people who don't know the comic don't really realize that, you know? It makes me almost wistful for these stories that we've had.
Well, we're still going to get it. If we get the No Way Out storyline with the entire herd laying a siege on Alexandria, they're still going to get that taste of the zombie thing everybody knows and loves, right? But beyond that, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how much they stay inside the community. I mean, or if they follow people who are going on runs and things like that. And then there were some issues with like the structural, with people being outside that were doing construction and all that. So that could be exciting.
Do you think the listeners, Jason, I'm curious, do you think the listeners are going to, or excuse me, the viewers of the show are going to almost feel betrayed that their show has shifted so much?
Well, I think it's changed a lot already a few times, so maybe people are used to it. I don't think they'll be able to do as much storytelling without zombies as Kirkman did occasionally.
I think they'll still have to interject zombie action to
every episode. Show. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. I'm going to see how. I'm curious how they're going to kind of deal with that, because we do enter a new period where zombies are, and it really happens with that No Way Out arc. After Carl getting shot in the eye, and Rick just needs to hold off that horde. He does so, and that's when he realizes that the zombies are no longer a threat, and we're almost there with the show. Oddly enough, I feel like we're almost there earlier in the show than we are in the comic. That whole like last episode of the show, when they have all those zombies walking behind them, and they don't. I mean, they give zero fucks about the fact that there are all these zombies walking behind them.
Yeah, they're like, whatever.
Yeah, that
don't
to
waste
me
your energy.
Yeah, that's that advancement of that notion that Rick comes to in the No Way Out arc of, these are no longer really a threat. These are manageable. We just have to deal with all the insurrections within, and that's what we're getting into, those insurrections within. And man, I'm looking forward to it so much.
Me too.
But I'm curious how viewers of the show.
Well, some people hate it, and some people love it, just like every single other thing.
Yes,
I think
true.
with the show, you can't please everybody, especially with his show. I feel because people watch it for different reasons.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the question is though that will it come to a point where there's a lot of people that don't like it? There's always going to be some, yeah. And I think so far it's done a great job of maintaining a huge following while some people aren't happy, but it still feels like an exciting show. And I hope it'll keep doing that. I just can't wait to see what Alexandra Breckenridge does.
Oh, so okay. Now, who exactly do you think she? I guess we're going to get into like absolute prediction, super spoiler territory.
I mean, you already
think
said
she's going to be?
Carl got shot in the head, on the eye.
Oh, that's true. I did. Yeah, my bad. Do you think it's going to be this now mysterious Deanna? Now, who's Deanna? Are we assuming that's Douglas?
Well, what context I missed that mention. What context do they?
Somebody said you're going to have to talk to Deanna.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you think she's the new Douglas? Okay.
I'm thinking it's the new Douglas.
So she's not she's not like Denise or something. It sounds like she was someone more important.
Maybe, but it sounded like it was somebody who's very important. Then, of course, there's the Denise. That's the doctor. Then, of course, you've got Olivia, who could be cast. Then you've got Jessie, of course, who is Rick's girlfriend eventually, and tied with Rick's girlfriend. You have the mention in this episode of Aaron talking about Peter, the surgeon.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
I definitely think they're going to do that storyline.
Yeah, obviously, if they mentioned that already. So we're going to have his son, little Mikey. So Pete's going to be the wife / child beater that Rick takes down. And so we got all of that coming.
Yeah, Mikey was actually Nicholas's son, I think. But
oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What Ron? Ron.
So, and speaking of soap operas, do you think they'll do the whole Rick and Jesse?
I'm thinking so. If they've already introduced Pete.
Yeah.
If they've already introduced Pete, I think they're going to go there. Jason, did you guys talk at all in the episode about the Talking Dead and what they mentioned about that, and any spoilers with that at all?
I don't think so.
Well, it's going to happen now. So what the hell?
Yeah, go for it.
In the Talking Dead, they showed the little clip where we're introduced to Nicholas. Now, Nicholas, as you just mentioned, that's Mikey's dad, and he's the one that eventually leads a bit of an insurrection within Alexandria against Rick. So we're getting this entire Alexandria storyline so beautifully laid out right here at the beginning. I am so bloody excited. It's great.
So here's some of the names that are mentioned on IMDb, which isn't always super reliable, but anyway, for next week. Samantha. Do you recognize that name?
No.
Pete is probably Peter.
Yes.
Sam, Olivia, Mikey.
Olivia,
Yay!
Mikey.
Aaron, of course. Enid. And that's it. And Eric. And no Deanna. So maybe he won't meet her right away. Who knows?
Well, there's a conspicuous lack of Douglas.
Right.
I do not even remember the name of Douglas's wife, but I mean, maybe they're going to make Enid and Deanna a couple, going with the Aaron Eric thing. That's possible. Yeah, some of those names are different. Olivia, that actually makes me really happy. I love Olivia.
She's great.
She is great. And
I thought of Olivia on this episode when Rick was hiding the gun, it had a little J on there.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, oh, that's Olivia. She's marking, and didn't she take care of the guns? And she had a little inventory, and so I was like, I bet that J is part of her it's part of her inventory or something.
What do you think you're going to see in the next episode? I'm curious. How far do you think we're going to see?
I think we'll definitely see Rick being interviewed by the leader.
Okay.
I mean, I think that would be the next natural step. And maybe
we'll
a
see the
shower.
The
A shower and a shave.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be the last image at the end.
Oh, yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Now, in the comic, he's
cut.
there with Glenn, and Glenn says something like, man, I don't even recognize you without the beard, something like that, as he's made constable, right? Do you think Rick is going to be made constable?
It seems too quick.
Yeah, it would be a while, I would think.
That happened right away.
I know, it did.
Yeah.
He assigned jobs right away, but...
I'm just thinking maybe another episode, but I don't know.
Okay.
But, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, we have to have some... We're going to probably spend about 30 minutes of Andrew Lincoln eye-fucking the camera and
It's hard to predict pacing now on this show because
it is.
Some things take forever and some things are over super quick.
Right. I agree.
Oh, I cannot wait. I'm so excited for the next coming episodes and just see what they're going to do with this. And if this episode is any indication, it's going to be awesome.
Exactly.
This is number 11, so we have 7 more.
Yep.
No.
More.
We don't have 7 more.
We have
5 more.
5 more, yeah.
That's all. That could cover a lot of ground.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is going to be good. Karen's going to be she has no idea what's ahead of her, does she?
Nope.
Exciting. Well, shoot, man, we should probably let you get back to your show. What do you say?
Yeah.
Karen's just sitting there in the corner.
Yeah, it's like with her earmuffs on. Saying la 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 la.
Well, fortunately, as everybody should know, you have chapters. If you don't want to hear this, just go ahead and skip ahead. And if you're hearing this now, it's way too late. But
yeah, because we're just about done.
I'm sure Karen knows to skip ahead. So right on.
Very good.
Jason, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for letting me
on your show. We appreciate
Anytime.
You coming on to your show to join us. But thank you so much, Internet Dad.
Yep.
And
and don't forget to go listen to Under the Comic Covers, everybody.
Oh yeah, we didn't even pitch ourselves. Absolutely. Under the Comic Covers every week. This week we're covering Chew and They're Not Like Us, number 3. And we have an interview with Jay Ferber, author of Copperhead and many other things, Secret Identities and
cool
stuff. So
that's super cool.
For now, back to the show. Thanks a lot, Jason. Thanks, Grace.
Thank you, guys. All right, we're back, and it's time for next week on The Walking Dead. What's coming up?
Oh, right, that's me. Sorry, next week on The Walking Dead it is episode 12, and the title of it is Remember. I've got 2 kind of not very good descriptions, but that's okay because they're very Mad Men-esque. One is Rick and the group must adapt to the lifestyle and safety of the Alexandria Safe Zone, which I guess is the name of it, the Alexandria Safe Zone. So that kind of implies that it's safe, but we'll see. Another description is molding into a new lifestyle is proving difficult for the group. Has life on the road proven too treacherous to go back to who they once were? So I've seen a couple previews, and it looks like they're walking around getting used to the Alexandria Safe
But nobody's
Zone.
there.
Not that I could see.
Right.
Oh, no.
Creepy.
I saw one preview on The Talking Dead that has them talking to a dude at the gate.
Okay.
And he said, I want you to meet Leanna or whatever her name was.
I have to admit, there's this one actress called Alexandra Breckenridge who played the sexy nun on American Horror Story.
Oh.
And not nun, maid, sexy maid. And
sexy nun.
I would be probably more turned on by a sexy nun.
I was going to say that's a redundancy. They're all sexy.
Sexy nun. Tell it,
just
brother.
That forbidden fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yes, she's going to be on the show. That means we might get to do a panel with her.
Oh, does she play the person who's in charge? I
have no idea.
Okay.
She's probably too young for that.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Interesting.
All right. Thanks. Are you ready to close it out?
I am.
All right, that's our show, episode 172. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Before we do end, I wanted to mention, so a while back I was mentioning I might get to be a part of this study to help with my amblyopia, which means I have a lazy eye, with the Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
So I now have the Oculus Rift, and it's got this like cheesily made game from grad students that's not that much fun to look at, but helps train my eye to supposedly see better. I've only been doing it for a few days, so I can't tell yet. But I immediately downloaded a bunch of other demos and games and things.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
You love it?
Oh my God. It's like being in another world. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Keep us updated. I really want to know.
And I got to show it to Nicotero at that party for the first time. So I brought it to that party, and like everybody was lining up to use it.
Ah, it's so cool. I want to use it. Do you have it here?
Yeah, I can give you a demo when we're done here. All right, if you want to call us, people, you can reach us at 650-485-DEAD. That's 650-485-3323, or click the send voicemail button on our website.
You can write to us at brains@walkingdeadcast.com.
You can go to that website at walkingdeadcast.com, and please don't forget to click through our Amazon link on there when you shop at Amazon, and thank you.
We're also on Twitter at Jason and Karen, on Tumblr at walkingdeadcast.tumblr.com, and on Facebook at facebook.com/deadcast.
Most of all, I want to thank you, Brian Johnson, for coming on. I hope you had some modicum of an enjoyable time.
It was a ball, you guys. Thanks for having me. It was fun. It was really fun.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, and it was fun talking to you too, as I thought it probably would be. For you people, you can see Brian each week with, of course, with his partners Walt Flanagan, Mike Zapkick. Is that how you say it? Zapsik and Ming Chen on AMC's Comic Book Men. That's plays Sunday night at midnight, which is technically Monday morning. And you can also hear him on the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast with Walt and Brian Quinn. And is there anything else you want to let people know about?
Nah, not really.
All right. And are you going to make a zombie sound for us, please?
Oh, I'm going to be that guy. All right, let me give it a try. Sure.
All right, cool.
Well done, sir.
Pretty fantastic. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking with Ross Marquand.
Sure.
Who plays Aaron, and then we'll be back next week on schedule for Tuesday morning. All right, that's our show.
Thanks for listening. Don't get bit. Albert Fierro.